The big jar of Grey Poupon has arrived. Yes, some photos of the Rolls Royce Cullinan have been revealed. They were revealed by an Instagrammer named, what was his name again? It was Alamadi. I'm just going to type it out down below. But yes, we have finally gotten the pictures of the new not SUV from Rolls Royce. If you like car stuff, go ahead and give me a subscribe because we're going to be diving deep into all sorts of car things. Let's hit it. As you can tell by the front of the car, it definitely looks like a Rolls Royce, though to be honest, that was probably a really easy thing to do. They probably color parts here and there and shoved it on the front. As you can tell on the inside, the interior is absolutely gorgeous as usual. Considering the fact that with Rolls Royce, they always allow a lot of customizability because, let's be honest, rich people are very eccentric and they probably do want to have any kind of color they want. We should definitely expect a lot of interior choices. Just from my first kind of glimpse of the car, I think it's really good looking. I've always been a big fan of big square cars. I love Cadillacs from the 70s and the 80s, and I've always been a big fan of Rolls-Royce's look ever since I believe it was the Wraith that came out in about 2003. I've always kind of liked that very big monolithic look. The only thing I wonder is how big this high roof car, I mean that's what Rolls-Royce calls it, really is. If you have never seen a Rolls-Royce sedan or a coupe in person, I mean, in pictures, they really do hide their size, because in person, these are very large sedans. I would say at least the sedan Rolls Royce is at least the same ride height as most non-premium automakers' crossovers. Technically, I mean, so being that this is an SUV, I wonder how huge this vehicle really is. As you can tell in the pictures, it doesn't look too big. I would say maybe about the size of an Explorer, or I would say maybe, yeah, about the size of a Ford Explorer, GMC Arcadia, maybe at the biggest Chevy Tahoe size. I don't know. Maybe it is that size, maybe it's taller. Definitely when we start seeing this vehicle on the road and next to other cars, we can definitely get a good idea of the size of this vehicle. This is another cool thing. Check out those rear seats. I know Land Rover does those seats as well. I think theirs look a little bit better, but it's definitely cool that we have these little sort of back seats, these little, tailgate seats. Also, definitely notice the splitting tailgate. We haven't seen that since the mid-90s Honda Civic. Definitely cool that they added that little bit in, has a little table right there and such. Definitely a good place for, say, if you're sitting on the back and you have your chauffeur throwing those clay pigeons through the sunroof, you can just go and shoot them just like that while having your champagne or whatever the super rich do. I'm not really sure. One thing I did notice, definitely the rear storage area does not look very big, but let's be honest, this is a vehicle that people don't buy to be practical. And also thinking on that, well, you don't really have to worry about the storage capacity of this car because the owner of this vehicle probably has an entourage following him with other vehicles. They're not really going to be thinking about, oh, how many groceries can I put in there? It's more like they're buying it for the image and the fact that it's a Rolls Royce. And most likely that can go just about anywhere. I do wonder what the off-road capability of this vehicle is. I'm sure it's probably fantastic. It's probably, how can I show up to, the new show or my new mansion in the most interesting way possible? They don't care about bringing all their stuff with them. So let me ask everyone this question. What are your thoughts on the new Rolls Royce Cullinan? I sure hope I'm pronouncing that name right, by the way. I mean, is Rolls Royce selling out by finally offering an SUV, even though they are dancing around the word and calling it a high-roof sedan? Or is this going to be an awesome cash flow vehicle for Rolls Royce to be able to really develop and make better products? I'm not sure if you knew this, but when it came with Porsche, the 80s and the early 90s, they weren't doing too well financially. They only had one car. When they introduced the Macan and especially the Cayenne, well, yeah, it's not a true Porsche or a purist, but one thing it did do is that it printed money. It allowed them to take the new money they were taking in and make much better cars. So is Rolls-Royce making this play? On that, I'm not so sure. I know they're under the parent company BMW, but it definitely does make a little bit of sense. Another thing to think about, it seems like everyone is jumping in on having some sort of an SUV, and as I mentioned in a couple of my videos, people are really kind of moving back to higher riding vehicles that are a little bit more practical. Obviously some are going to be a lot more practical than others. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this vehicle? If you like the video, go ahead and give me a subscribe down below, and I will definitely see you guys next time.